Welcome to Popcorn and Champagne, where your favorite flicks meet your favorite critics.
We're serving bold takes, real laughs, and the kind of commentary that pairs perfectly with popcorn and a glass of champagne.
I'm Tony.
I'm Tiff,
and this is Popcorn and Champagne. Each episode, we're breaking down what's streaming, what's trending, and what's totally binge-worthy.
From reality TV mess to Oscar-worthy moments. We've got the receipts, the reactions, and the real talk.
So grab your popcorn, pour your bubbly, and get ready because it's time to sip, stream, and spill.
Let's get into it.
There are some stories that feel like they belong on the big screen. Some stories about love, sacrifice, and resilience, and the kind of bond that can only exist between a mother and her child. Today's episode is one of those stories. Welcome back to Popcorn and Champagne, where we celebrate powerful storytelling, meaningful conversations, and the moments that shape who we are. I'm Tony, and today's conversation is incredibly close to home. I'm sitting down with my co-host, my friend, my sister in storytelling, Tiffany, and her beautiful mother, Miss Tina. Now, we talk a lot on this podcast about movies that move us, but today we're talking about a real life story that goes far beyond the screen because Tiffany doesn't show up just as a daughter. She gave her mother the ultimate gift, the gift of life, a kidney. And what makes this conversation so special is not just the act itself, it's the journey, the emotions, the decisions, the quiet moments no one sees, and the love that carried them through it all. So today, we're slowing it down just a bit. We're honoring the story, and we're creating space for truth, vulnerability, and reflection. Miss Tina, welcome.
Yay! Hey, Tim.
Hey, baby. How you? She finally made it to Popcorn and Champagne couch.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So a lot of people don't know that you two had a life-changing situation happen in January of this year. January 13th. January 13th. That's significant to you because that's that's your Founder's Day. So tell me, Tiffany, when did you first notice, or what did you first understand how serious your mom's condition was? What did you notice?
So, over the years, kind of noticed her getting a little sluggish, and she had swelling in like her ankles and feet and things like that. And we were at my sister's birthday party at the house, at my mom's house, probably about 3.5 years ago. And she was about to pass out. Like, she was dizzy, all of that. My girlfriend Felicia was there with me, and she was like, Miss Tina don't look good. So I cornered her and I said, listen, it's time that we go to the hospital, get you checked out. I'm not taking no for an answer. So she fought me a little bit, but we ended up going, and come to find out, she was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure because of her uncontrolled hypertension. And so the battle started from there.
So, Miss Tina, let me ask you a question. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah.
Did you agree with her at that time that you needed to go
I
do
think
something?
I was in denial more than anything.
Yeah,
And, how dare this happen to me?
right.
Why is this happening to me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to allow this to happen to me. But, after much persistence, I just went on and did what I was told to do.
I love that. So how you feeling? I know physically you look amazing. It doesn't even look like you've had surgery at all, but like emotionally, how are you feeling with it?
For the most part, I'm okay. Good. I'm okay. Good. I won't say that, I don't have my days.
Yeah.
Because it gives you time to think about some things, And but as far as overall, I feel pretty good.
That's good. That's really good.
You look good.
You look amazing. So Tiffany, what's your immediate reaction as a daughter? You and your sister stepped in, you did what you needed to do. What are your thoughts? What are your immediate reaction?
Well, and I would be remiss, my sister, Ashley Horn, is a big part of this as well. I would not have been able to get through this without her. And I think she and I were all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Ashley, helping me because I travel a lot for my job and things like that, just helping her stay on her appointments, lab results, things like that, and her change in lifestyle immediately had to happen. And I think her doing that gave us some time before we even thought about kidney donation. And me being a donor. Now, my sister was also
A match.
a match.
Okay.
But through the testing and everything, I ended up being the suitable candidate.
Was it an instant decision, or is it something that you wrestled with?
So,
I think we both wrestled.
yeah.
Because as a mother,
Yes.
as I've told, friends and family, as a mother, I'm supposed to be the giver. I'm not, a mother doesn't take. And so I wrestle with that, back and forth. But I had a very, very good friend of mine to tell me that I need to get out of the Lord's way. And stop, I may have a habit of trying to control things, have my hands
Right.
have my hands all over it. And sometimes it takes other people to bring you to the center,
That's right.
what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I think I worried more about, her health and the what ifs and, oh, if this happens or if that happened. And my friend told me, two of my friends, Anita and Vanessa, told me, what if nothing happens? What if everything is okay?
Right.
What if, why are you living on the what ifs?
That's right. You got some good friends.
Yeah. And one of them told me I needed to live on God's promise. So,
Tiffany, did you have any fears about what this would mean for your own life and future?
So, yes, listen, I've never had any type of major surgery before. I didn't know what this was going to look like.
Right.
On the other side. So with everything, you have to do your research, right? And I learned that you can live a healthy lifestyle with one kidney.
Sure.
Right. And shout out to Tiffany Dobson Whaley and Tasha Thomas, who both helped and held our hand. Yeah, Tasha held me and my mom's hand throughout the process.
Yeah.
And so also all my loving sisters, the village I have, the family was just amazing. But as a child, I wouldn't call it that I felt like I had an obligation to my mother to do it. My thing was I wanted to make sure that my mother understood what she was up against. And so my biggest battle in it was her. And basically just saying, your life is forever going to be changed. Like,
You got to change your lifestyle.
you have to change your lifestyle. And I think for me, it was trusting her with the gift to do the right thing. And so for me, that was my biggest challenge in this. And through, having a lot of talks, and it was rough there in the beginning.
Yeah.
But we got through it. And also just my faith in God. So on that day of me walking into the hospital, I wasn't emotional. I wasn't scared. I just gave it all to him. And the procedure was seamless.
So, Miss Tina, you mentioned you leaned in on your faith, right? You talked to your girlfriends and they told you to get out the way. When you finally accepted that, how did you feel when you knew Tiffany was going to give you that kidney?
well, it still goes back to as a mother. I'm not going to tell no story, no lie. I worried. There were many sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Even though, I said, I'm going to get out of the way. But the word says, fear not. And so I had to say that repeatedly every day,
Yeah.
almost every hour of the day.
Was it hard for you to receive than to give?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always been the giver.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say I never received, but for me, my role in my life has always been to give,
Yeah.
to clear up, to resolve, you know, and for somebody else to come in to save me, I've never had that done. I've never had that done.
It's wonderful.
You know. And so maybe because I'm that independent woman,
Mm-hmm.
because I've had to be here these last years. So it made a difference, you know, especially Melanie, because even though you think this can't happen, of course, I'm not, even though I had to talk with my friends about getting out of the way and stuff like that, your mind still goes back to the what ifs, even though every day I would say, no, not today. I'm not gonna think like that. I'm gonna put positivity into the atmosphere and let the Lord take that. Because if not, I won't get through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You leaned in on your faith.
That's right.
What is something about the transplant process that people don't talk about?
The removal of the stent.
Oh my God. Was that bad?
It was horrible.
Is it harder on the donor than it is the recipient?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
the recipient is the one that has the stent.
Yes, but as far as like after surgery and the healing, it's harder on the donor.
I think so.
Oh, absolutely. I was from my incision where they actually pulled the kidney out. I was in pain for a solid 2 weeks. And I
Did
had,
they tell you that was you were going to experience that kind of pain, or
they told me discomfort.
okay?
And I told them,
remain.
that's right. And I told them, you are incorrect.
That's good. They needed to know that.
Yeah.
Back,
And
right?
you need to, be a little bit more open about what the donor is going to expect. And luckily I had friends to come and actually like stay with me because I couldn't lift anything.
Yeah.
It would hurt to like do anything.
Would you say both of you, because you recovered as well, was that your hardest days?
My hardest days I guess, was the surgical area. Area. Yeah.
Well, you had a tube.
Yeah. And then I had what they call hemovacs out to the side. There was a lot of discomfort from that, but the most discomfort came from the incision site.
Yeah, the incisions were bad.
And then the gas.
All the gas is terrible.
The gas is bad. Is that hurt? Does that hurt?
Yes.
Does it hurt your belly? Is that what it hurt?
Yeah, it was all.
And it goes to your back too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was all. I felt like it was up to my neck. I mean, and then just waiting on the bowel movement. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, we were on group text and we were like, she finally had I think it was it Lisa was telling us that she had a bowel movement. We were like, yay. And we was like, did it hurt? No, it hurt. And it didn't. It
brought me so much
relief. Yeah.
But I would have to say for the donor, I can only speak for me, just that incision pain and knowing that you're pretty much helpless and you need help around, like someone needs to stay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a question for both of you. How has this experience changed the way you see each other?
I think for me, I think I always owe her this part of my life. Because I could, when I do have time to sit and think, I think of all the people that are on dialysis, and dialysis is not anything fun.
Right.
I don't know if you know of any people that have experienced that,
Right.
but I do know some that are on it, and it's not a easy process. That could have been me. And so, when I think of how she stepped up, both Ashley as well, I am grateful, beyond grateful. And I tell her that I probably have said, I love you more now than I probably have ever said.
Right.
Because, sometimes things happen to make you, not that I've never felt appreciative of either one of them, but it just makes you tune in to what could have been versus what is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, that's kind of the
What
way
about
I
you,
see it.
Tiffany?
Well, I mean, my mom and I, we have been together, freaking frack for many years. For a long time, my mother was a single mom. And this, the sacrifice and the things that she gave to me in life, um, when I looked back on that, really, truly, it was no question, right?
Right.
Um, I just have to get her back in line to do what she got to do. But um, she, if the tables were turned, she would have did it for me in a heartbeat. And one time I was talking to my cousin Sandy, and she told me, Tiffany, if the shoe was on the other foot, she would do it for you.
She would. Right.
And when she said that, because a lot of times you just need to hear it from somebody else, it just put it all in perspective to me, And my mother has sacrificed so much and is really responsible of the person I am today, along with some other people, but I can't thank her enough for that. And so, yeah, it was just kind of a no-brainer. And I just think what I've gotten from this is just strength.
Is that how you celebrate life? Do you celebrate it differently now?
No, you know me, girl. I've always been a free spirit.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of loved ones and things like that. And I have friends whose parents are struggling and, my friend here, losing your mother and things like that. And when you hear people's testimony and stuff like that, you just have to appreciate what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Because it ain't always going to be here.
Yeah.
And if I could give her that and some relief, and I'm going to tell you, this would have looked a lot differently if I wasn't a match. And like she said, when we go to those doctor's visits and we see the other people suffering, I'm telling you, it's bad. She's blessed. We're blessed.
Is there anything something that you've never fully said to your mom about this experience?
Oh, I'm glad it's over.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm talking about, I'm serious, guys. Like, it was like a monkey on my back for months. Like, Tony knows.
Yeah.
And like, when I told Tony, she just started break down crying, in the middle of homecoming.
I did.
I was like, okay. But yeah, my mother and I have a very open relationship.
Yeah.
I have a very cool and crazy mama, and she will say whatever comes to mind. So it's really no secrets here. Even when we got into our arguments, honey.
So now this is major. It's a major story. But what is it that you want other families to take away from this experience?
I think for me is don't procrastinate about your health as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that when I look back, there's some things that I could have did. There's some things that I should have done. But I can't go back and undo them.
Right.
I'm gonna live for today.
That's right.
And so I encourage anybody and everybody, go for your checkups, your mammograms, your colonoscopies,
Right.
whatever. Because this illness, it's no joke. No kind of illness is any.
So that's advice you would give to those that are considering organ donation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people, especially what my mother and I have learned is in the Black community, this is an issue. Organ donation in the state of Tennessee is one of the lowest.
Oh, wow.
And we're not a giving state. And so if you know of a family member or a friend, or if you just want to do a good deed and giving a stranger a kidney, a living donor is the best option versus one that comes from a deceased.
like an accident
That's
or
right.
something. Okay.
Because it's not guaranteed that that person's kidney will take.
Ah, gotcha.
Because a lot of times it's been on ice and it takes a while for it to wake up. when you have a living donor that you take out of a warm body and put into another that's a match, like my kidney woke up in her like that.
That's interesting.
So it's warm. It still had the blood flowing, all of that. A lot of people who get it from deceased donors, it doesn't happen that quickly. And when it does wake up, there's no guarantee that the rejection won't happen. So
That's interesting.
living donor is the thing. And
Yeah, because along the way we've met. I've met two recipients, and they're on their third transplant.
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they are young. You know, you don't have to be
Third
old
transplant?
just to have them.
Right. Third transplant.
Wow. Yeah, one young lady, she told me that she was on her third transplant.
Mm.
And each kidney had last 2.5 years. The second one last 3 years. And so she was on her third transplant.
Wow.
Because you do a lot of interaction through these classes.
Sure.
And stuff like that. And
So they do prepare you guys for, oh, yes, you all have to go through expensive.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because I remember the psychological part, I was concerned. Yeah. I was like, you passed it. Everything turned out okay.
Yeah.
So now that you guys have done it, and I want to keep laboring on it, what does love mean to you now? What does it mean to you after everything that you both have been through? What does love mean to you?
I think for me, I'd have to say it just took it to another level, right? And it just made me really like, I don't know, like I guess I've never really been challenged of her needing me, right? And it really just put us on another spectrum, a level of respect for one another, because even though I am her child, I'm still an adult woman.
Right.
So we had to learn to be kind and to really listen to one another. So I think it just challenged the both of us because we always gonna love each other. You know what I'm saying? But it just, it really challenged us.
So, Miss Tina, if this chapter of your life was a movie, because, you know, we talk about TV, movies, and entertainment, what would the title be? What would the title of your movie be?
Sacrifice.
That's good, mommy.
Who would you want to play you?
Maybe the lady that played on The Help. What's her name?
Viola Davis. I love that. That's a good one.
I said Lynn Whitfield.
Yeah, you did. Tiffany, what would, you know what we do.
I know.
So what would be the title of your movie after them? You don't know what the title would be?
I don't know. I like my mom's title.
Sacrifice?
Yeah, sacrifices for sure. I mean, this is not a selfish situation, you know, and so
Selfless.
that's what I'll call it.
Yeah, selfless. That's okay. Who would you want to play you?
Oh, my girl, Halle Berry.
Of course, that'd be a natural fit. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Tina.
That's
Last question for you, though. As you know, we do, again, TV, movies, and entertainment. We always want to know what you're watching. Is there anything that you're watching right now?
Let me see. I've watched so much. Maybe I'm watching Top Chef.
Okay, that's nice. The Top Chef is good. That's good.
She being nice. She like all this.
She like ratchet stuff.
Yeah, she like it
But
ratchet.
one other thing, too, I want to say, you know, March is Kidney Awareness Month. So are you guys going to start celebrating that now that you have been through this experience?
We celebrating this every day.
Every day.
Yeah, I love it.
Not just a month of March.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Tina.
Every time I get good laughs, that's a celebration.
There it is.
Every time my blood pressure is still there, that's
a celebration, right? And you know your name, your mind is right. Hello, your phone number. You are right.
and I can put one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. Miss Tina, thank you so much.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so
Yes,
much
ma'am.
for having
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Y'all are such a blessing. Everybody's been such a blessing.
And that's a wrap for this week's episode of Popcorn and Champagne.
Where the popcorn is hot, the champagne reels are hotter, and we never miss a good binge.
Don't forget to like and follow us on all our socials at popcorn_champagne on Instagram and Facebook, and also on YouTube, Popcorn and Champagne.
And if you love what you heard or even liked it a little, leave us a review and tell a friend. Sharing is caring, and we love hearing from our fellow streamers.
Until next time, we want to know what you're watching.